The reported poor conditions aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln may be linked to a major logistics disruption. The USS Abraham Lincoln has remained at sea for more than 260 days without a port call, a record-setting deployment that has increased pressure on food supplies, maintenance systems, and crew morale. Journalist David Rohde alleges that U.S. War Secretary Pete Hegseth did not disclose the full extent of the damage to the Bahrain logistics hub during public briefings. Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth have denied that the carrier is facing a crisis, with Hegseth saying reports about food shortages, plumbing issues, and poor living conditions were completely misrepresented. Iran is reported to have damaged the main U.S. Navy logistics hub in Bahrain, purportedly forcing the Navy to rely on Diego Garcia, roughly 2,200 miles from the Gulf of Oman, for resupply support. As concerns mount over conditions aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, a new report has raised questions about why the American aircraft carrier faced serious supply problems during its extended deployment. Journalist David Rohde said the carrier was not adequately resupplied after Iran damaged a key U.S. Navy logistics base in Bahrain, forcing the Navy to rely on much longer supply routes. Rohde alleged that War Secretary Pete Hegseth hid the fact that Iran destroyed the main U.S. resupply base in the Gulf, though the extent of the alleged damage has not been independently confirmed. The journalist said Hegseth did not reveal this critical information in any public press conference, despite mounting reports about shortages and deteriorating conditions aboard the carrier. The USS Abraham Lincoln has remained deployed for more than 260 days, leaving thousands of sailors and Marines at sea for an unusually long and demanding period. The carrier has broken the U.S. Navy record for the longest deployment without a port call, placing exceptional strain on the ship's crew, supplies, and maintenance systems. Reports emerged of crew members attempting to jump overboard amid claims of food and supply shortages, along with concerns over exhaustion, morale, and mental health on board. However, both Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth have denied the claims of a crisis aboard the carrier, dismissing the reports as false or misrepresented.
A big part of your presidency?
This morning you said you would bomb the S out of Oman if they got in the way of reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Would you say you're out of patience with Oman, a strategic
No, I don't think they behave very well, but we'd handle them very easily, just like we do others.
Expiration of the Memorandum of Understanding, are you any closer today to reaching a final deal to end Iran's nuclear program?
Well, they want to make a deal, but they're not going to make the kind of a deal that I feel is necessary. Look, we're in there for one reason. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. You understand that? Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon. And right now, them building one after what we did previously with the B-2 bombers, going to be a long time behalf. But Iran cannot have. It's very simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon.
President, is there enough food on the USS Lincoln?
Yeah, it is. That was a CNN fake report. The Lincoln has been out there for a period of time, good period of time, but over the years we've had them out there much longer. I was at a group meeting and an admiral came up to see me over the weekend, and it was at a big group, and he happened to be an admiral retired. He said, I've been on ships that are out there much longer than that, sir, and I know people on the Lincoln, they say it's beautifully maintained and beautifully taken care of. And other people went out and they found out to be true. It was fake news reporting from CNN.
The British Prime Minister recently reportedly sent text to someone impersonating Susie Wiles. Are you concerned about his judgment or the state of communications between the two countries?
No, but who happened? What happened? They sent text?
Apparently the Prime Minister sent text to somebody impersonating Susie Wiles.
No, I'm sure that he had a miscommunication.
Last week you said that you soon declared the Strait of Hormuz to be a territory of the United States. Could you elaborate?
Well, I just think it's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, we control it. We control it with the blockade. We have a blockade. We control it with the blockade. And I like the idea of declaring it a territory.
Why might you do that?
We have total control over the strait. Now, they can be a nuisance. They can put a mine in the water, and people don't like having mines hit their billion-dollar ships, you know, etc. But the blockade has been very effective. And, you know, we're taking out, and now maybe that will stop, or maybe it'll open up even further, but we're taking out millions of barrels of oil a week. If you look at the kind of numbers that we're doing, the strait is open, and the oil prices are coming down, and they will continue to come down unless we decide to do something far more drastic than we're doing. Iran is in big trouble. They have 300% inflation. The country's a mess. and the military is totally defeated. Thank you very much.
CENTCOM commander called his USS Lincoln visit on August 16 awe-inspiring, amid concerns over the carrier's crew. Admiral Brad Cooper said the carrier's crew had shown resilience while enduring prolonged deployment and demanding operational conditions. Cooper said the Lincoln had faced tough conditions while supporting U.S. military operations against Iran in the region. The commander said Lincoln reported the lowest mental health case numbers among the 11 active U.S. Navy aircraft carriers. Cooper praised the carrier's leadership for prioritizing crew mental health, resilience, and the overall well-being of sailors. Admiral Brad Cooper said, and I quote, "My time aboard USS Abraham Lincoln yesterday was awe-inspiring. I wish every American could see the crew in action. You would beam with absolute pride when witnessing their camaraderie, teamwork, and resilience. Here's an important fact. Of the U.S. Navy's 11 active aircraft carriers, the Lincoln currently has among the lowest number of cases related to mental health. This doesn't mean that all is perfect. Find any of the nearly 4 million Navy veterans in America today, and they will likely tell you that service at sea for long periods isn't for everyone. It is uniquely challenging and tough, and every single one of us, including me, reacts to stresses in different ways. I've long believed that mental health is another aspect of individual health and requires our attention just like physical health and spiritual health. I applaud Lincoln's leadership, the senior enlisted leaders in the Chief Petty Officers Mess in particular, for stepping up and making mental health and crew resilience a leadership priority. To all our sailors and Marines aboard the ship, keep up the great work and fair winds and following seas on the journey home." Unquote. The San Diego-based carrier was deployed in November and reached the Middle East in January as regional tensions escalated. The Lincoln has since flown thousands of missions supporting Operation Epic Fury and wider U.S. regional security operations. The carrier also supported the U.S. naval blockade of Iran in the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz during the deployment. USS Lincoln came under scrutiny after reports raised concerns about deteriorating conditions and growing dissatisfaction among its crew.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now